Good afternoon, race fans. This afternoon we have a interesting little piece of information here. It's a rapid prototype of the new Viper slot car chassis. Basically taken off of a Super G Plus with some very interesting improvements. Things that racers have wished for a long time, but haven't ever been achieved before. We've got bumpers for the pickup shoes. We have built-in body posts. We have lightning slots in the magnet box. We have indentions or dimples in the back to indicate drilling for rear axle retaining pins, as you can see there. And maybe most importantly, we've got handling slots in the chassis. All through here, the chassis has been relieved a little bit, so you get the effect of having a sanded chassis without having to sand your chassis. This could be of a good benefit to all you guys running Ceramic Pro Superstock. But anyway, we popped everything together and it seems to do pretty good. We haven't run it yet, so maybe we'll do that. Alright, race fans, we're going to witness the first run of the prototype. Let's put a body on it and see what happens. Alright, we have a body on it now. You can see the built-in body posts, how slick those things are. Well, we do need a tire change. The car is up a little bit, so we may do that and then give it another try. Alright, we made a tire change, dropped it down several sizes. I'd say generally feels just about as good as you know, the average car, and this is a rapid prototype, so the actual manufactured pieces ought to be every bit as good as what's currently on the market, or maybe even better. The handling slots seem to be working. There's no indication of rail marks on the chassis, but yet the magnets are hitting in the grooves, so we're not upsetting the car with the rails hitting on the chassis. And we'd have to take it out on the big track and see what it'll do out there to set a benchmark. Well, here we are out on the Hardin Creek Scorpion. Did a little testing, changed some tires, put on a set of Shepherds, and did a little couple of runs around here. 2.7s, did a hot lap at 268. We'll try running that again, but 268, that's on this track with just about any Ceramic Pro Superstock is a really good number. Of course, if you're running a buck track or something that's got a lot more downforce, you can get those numbers down in, you know, the 2.5s, maybe, you know, certain people maybe even in 2.4 territory, but Wizard's a light rail track, so you don't have quite as much downforce. Well, I'd say that's pretty good. We got down to 263, and the interesting thing, the components, the basic components that I pulled out of was a back marker car that really wasn't all that great. Probably out here is about a 2.8 car. And as you can see, that's what we're doing there. Now this is, we're actually running in white. The computer's a little messed up, so it's showing red. But it was actually done in the white lane, not the gutter lane, which if that was red, that'd be pretty good. But here we are. We've got a rapid prototype 3-dimensional printed chassis, and it runs, and this is all ceramic. It's running about as good as any of the cars, any of the Pro Superstock cars that have ever been out here on this track.
Continue talking.
So today is July 2nd, 2014. It's been almost exactly 1 year from today that I made the decision to move forward with a new HO slot car chassis. I had to think long and hard who could help me do this, and I partnered with Dan Cronin at Elite Slot Cars to get this project moved forward. Without him, I doubt we would have, you know, anything in hand that would be truly a performance product. And out of all the time and different things, I mean, he's actually formed his own company, Viper Scale Racing. Back in November, we produced 4 of these 3-dimensionally printed chassis just to prove fitment and different things, and they actually ran very well. And I think the first part of the video shows that they actually are as fast or faster than the current chassis that the parts came out of. The downside to 3-dimensional printed stuff, the material is not obviously made like injection molded products to where the molecules are fused together. So these actually, because of the time that's been on them, they'll actually have pieces that are cracked or whatever. So there is a life limit on these. But what we have now in this package here are the T1 samples of the new Viper chassis, and I haven't even opened it. Dan got his yesterday, and he said that they were pretty good, that everything was perfect on them, and then he overnighted it for me, so we're all going to experience this together. This has been a long time coming. There's been a lot of work, to get this going, and they're beautiful. They're absolutely beautiful. Well, from just quick inspection, I mean, these T1 samples look just absolutely phenomenal. We picked the right company to do the mold. It just in every way very, very professional. I just can't, I'm kind of speechless, really. I mean, it's been a long time, a year to get this thing done. timing bracket has been lightened. There's some additional holes in there. The clip, we added a little cutout in the clip here that's actually for makes it easier to oil. A couple of things that we'll go back over that's different in this chassis. There's lightning slits on top of the magnet boxes that takes material out. A very important feature is the dimples in the back for drilling through the chassis for axle retaining pins. Dan tried those yesterday and he says it's just spot on. You just get you the right little pin vise and drill them on in and away you go. We've got molded in body posts, so you don't have to buy aftermarket body posts. We've got the bumper system on the front, and one of the things that was discussed is it might actually be possible for some pro racers to actually come in here and drill tiny holes all the way through into the keepers, so once the shoe is in the car you could go on ahead and put a keeper pin through that, and to keep that shoe from going anywhere in the event of a really hard crash. That might be something that would be of an advantage in the drop-in Neo class. Pardon the phone call, that was actually Dan there calling me, asking me if I had seen the chassis yet, and I was like, yeah, I just opened them 5 minutes ago. So anyway, we talked about the keepers on the front. The material was taken out of this bracket down here. This was relieved a little bit. We didn't think that there needed to be quite as much material here, so there's a little bit of weight taken out of that. We've put some the lightning holes that were in the we have opened those up a little bit to take material out of there. But probably the single most important feature out of all this is what we call handling channels, where this area right over the rails has been relieved about 5 thousandths to allow better clearance under the bottom of the chassis, especially on rougher tracks. In this area right in front of the end bell, these areas on the side are very smooth, so there shouldn't be any hang up when you get over some bad rails like there were on the and I think that's about it for the major points. So the next step is to do some baseline testing and take the parts out of stick it in this chassis and see what we can do. Now, one of the things that people that want to run Tommy body clips, you can take a pair of surface snips, and if you want to, you can just snip the body posts off and put your Tommy hard body clip on there. That's possibly down the road we could modify the mold to where we don't have to mold body posts on it, but initially, you know, guys that want to run hard bodies, which shouldn't be any difficulty doing that. And then if they ever wanted to put body posts back in there, they could go in, drill those back out, and put the traditional screw-in aluminum body post back on, and return the chassis to a Lexan configuration. All right, we've built up a car here. Basically a C4 magnet car with P10 traction magnets, balanced armature, slip-on tires, and we're going to see what happens here. Alright, it's been several hours since that last video take, and went through the race box and chose 3 classes of cars that already were built up. and basically just drop all those parts into a VR1 chassis. I put guide pins in, electrics, and front axle sets, and then just swapped all the parts, all the other parts, in bell, timing bracket, magnets, rear axle, all the way back. The first car is a level 4 car, all level 4 compression molded, Pro 4 traction magnets. Would be C4, but they're all still level 4. 6-ohm balanced armature, independent front axle set, super tires, slip-on tires. Excuse me, all these were run out on the Scorpion track, which is a 62-foot track. Car ran 2.65 seconds. This car ran 2.66 fast lap. So essentially, there's no difference at all in terms of there's no handling penalty at all or time penalty. I could probably just go out there and beat the by a tenth. Second car is an all ceramic car out of the race box, and the chassis was a boiled medium, so I took the VR1 chassis and boiled it to mimic the same stiffness or the lack of it. All ceramic traction magnet, 6-ohm armature, 722 gear set, Shepherd rear tires, and this is the really interesting thing is the car could only do a 285, and this car did a 258, and that's generally pretty good for a Scorpion track to get below 2.6, down in the 2.5s. So that's very encouraging, and at some point I guess we'll get the chassis made out of a even more flexible material, so that ought to help those times tremendously there. The third car which essentially is a 6-ohm car, level 4 motor magnets, level 10 traction magnets. The car ran a 257, swapping all the parts into this. I managed to get it down to 253. Here again, every bit is equal to performance, maybe just a touch better for this particular class car. So at the end of the day, what we're seeing is a positive performance gain across the board on 3 common classes of cars. And here again, these are just the test shots. These are not the actual production pieces. These are strictly just the test shots of the mold. There's probably a few little issues that we'll have done. There's a couple little areas that might need to be tightened up, and maybe a few that need to be loosened up. But even at the end of the day, if nothing was done, you can see by the results that it's just right out of the box. It's a home run. So we'll get more as we'll have more things as time progresses. Well, we're back in the shop here after 18 months of development and wrangling and all kinds of ups and downs. What's in the box is what we've been waiting for. So let's see what we got. It's actually kind of a little underwhelming with all of the stuff that you do, and phone calls and emails and whatever. This little box contains all the hard work. Okay, there's clips. There is brackets. And there's chassis. Yeah, it's just you expect something different, but it's all there. First run's a little on the small side, but that's just the way things work out. There'll easily be more to come. So there you go. That's the end of the story. I hope you all like the car. It's very, very exciting. That's for sure. Thank you.